What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Cozy coming at you with a deck tech video for the deck of the week that we're going to be playing. So kind of the format that I'm kind of wanting to do now is I want to do a deck tech and then show you guys like a gameplay video or two maybe as we kind of go into like the week and stuff like that. So we're going to try it out with some OP14 stuff. Looking at what the kind of the meta is here in Vegas and stuff like that. Huge shout out to the People's Card Shop, definitely for letting me host and kind of do things here and do what I pretty much want when it comes to playing One Piece and just hanging out with the community and friends like that. So today's video is actually going to be with the OP14 leader Blue Yellow Boa Hancock, who has just been rampant in the local meta, at least in my local meta. If it's been different for you, please let me know down in the comments below. But we're going to be pretty much looking at Boa Hancock as a leader, looking at some of the cards and the deck that I'm kind of playing around with, which, I mean, has been fun. It's been super spicy. I like it personally for me. So basically on opponent's turn, when I play a character, I can draw a card. Dawn times one once per turn. When one of my Amazon Lily or Kucha Pirate characters with 5,000 power or less would be KO'd, my opponent takes the top card of their life, puts it into their hand. So super great in terms of like a tempo-based strategy, in my opinion. Super fun to play against, super fun to play into and play with. So how it's going to work is we're going to look at the 2Ks that I play, followed by the characters, and then we're going to look at the events at the end, and then kind of just go over some ideas of what I feel the deck does and what I really like about it and what I don't like about it, if I do have anything about it. But let me know what you guys feel down in the comments below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our 2K list. All right, welcome back, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the 2K list. Let me just bring this up here a little bit. So for 2Ks, of course, we're going to run some classic yellow 2Ks, in my opinion. We got the 4 copies of the Kozuki Hiyori. On play, we get to look at the top or bottom card of our life. We take it, put it in our hand, and we replace the card with one card from our hand into our life. So it's a great trigger manipulator. It's a great way to kind of get some things into play that we want to. As an example, right, we want to look at the Gorgon Sisters, a 6-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counter. Activate main once per turn. We may reveal 3 Amazon Lily or Kucha Pirate cards from our hand, and we get to give our leader and all of our characters up to 1 rested Dawn card each. It also has the trigger, if our leader is a Kucha Pirates, we get to play this card. So it's a great idea to play Hiyori, put the Gorgon Sisters into our life. And then on our opponent's turn, we play it, and then we get to draw a card off of that. Additionally, if they get rid of it, we get to use the Boa Hancock leader effect and just pretty much manipulate them out. The last 2K that I run, so I'm only running 12 2Ks, nothing crazy, something like that. It's going to be the Shaki. So basically, 6-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counter. On play, if our opponent has 3 or less life cards, we get to draw 2 and then trash 2 from our hand. Same trigger as the Gorgon Sisters. If our leader is a Kucha Pirate, we get to play it for free. So this is our 2K package. I think it's really good. I like this 2K package personally. It fits the thematics of the deck very, very well and something just very strong to have. For characters, I run 2 copies of the 1-cost Searcher Sengoku. On play, we get to look at the top of the deck. We get to reveal up to 1 7 Warlords of the Sea type card and add it to our hand. And then we put the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. Great way to find like the Boa Hancocks, whether it's the blocker, the I believe the big body is also one. And the big body boa. But we'll see those here in just a second. When it comes to bricks, first brick that we're actually going to see in the deck, it's the Marguerite, 3-cost, 5,000 power. On play, we get to look at the top 5 cards of the deck, reveal an Amazon Lily or a Kucha Pirate, add it to the hand, and then we put the rest of the bottom in any order. It also has a trigger of if our leader is a Kucha Pirate, we get to play it for free. So again, great manipulation off the Hiyori. Hiyori is such a fundamental card in this deck, I feel. Looking at additional bricks, We do run 4 copies of the ST17 Boa Hancock blocker that came in that Dofi structure that was really, really strong back when Dofi was really strong because of Jinbei. It's just a blocker. On play, we get to look at the top, I believe, 2 or 3 cards of the deck, if I'm not mistaken. Arrange them in any order, and then give Arrested Dawn to one of our leaders. Great use in Dofi, great use of a blocker. Of course, a staple that we also run is 2 copies of the Charlotte Pudding. So with Pudding, I feel like it's a blue staple until it gets rotated out. Basically, if your opponent has a ton of cards in hand, you just play the Pudding, tell them no, go ahead and shuffle all that back, have you draw 5. Next up, we're going to look at 4 copies of Ran. It is a 4-cost 5,000 power Kuja Pirate character. Activate main. Once per turn, we get to give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to one of our Kuja Pirate leaders or characters. It also has the same trigger. If our leader's a Kuja Pirate, we get to play it for the turn. So, again, super solid list so far that I feel. Let me go ahead and move these out of the way, just so that way we can make some more space for some additional cards that I want to look at. Set those to the side. Next up, we're going to look at 4 copies of Nami. Straw Hat Crew, 5-cost 6,000 power, 1k counter. On play, we get to give one of our Arrested Dawn cards to our leader. Then, if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, your opponent adds 1 card from the top of their life to their hand. And then on KO, we may turn one card from the top of our life face up, and then we get to play up to 1 character with 6,000 power or less from our hand. So again, it's going to be some of the things that we have. You could even just sneak into a quick Pudding, like on KO, cool Pudding. Go ahead and get rid of that. When it comes to KO package stuff, of course you got to run 3 silvers Rayleigh. In this one, it is a 6-cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter. On play, if your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 3 or less life cards, we get to KO one of our opponent's characters with 7,000 power or less. On trigger, we get to activate this card's effect. You know it can't be a yellow deck unless we're running Bartholomew Kuma himself. It is a 6-cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter. On play, we may trash 1 card from our hand to add 1 card from the top of the deck to the life. And then, of course, on opponent's turn and KO, we get to move the top card of our deck to the top of our life. Again, yellow deck, yellow staple, gotta have it. What I was mentioning earlier, we got that big body boa, that 9-cost 10k. On play, if our leader has the 7 Warlords of the Sea type, we can add up to 1 card from the top of our deck to the life pile, then add 1 card from the top of our opponent's life to their hand. On trigger, we get to play 1 character with 6,000 power or less with a trigger from our hand for free. Great way to steal out a body. It is a great way to play out like the Marguerite. It's a great way to play out the Rayleigh as an example as well. But overall, just Boa is such a good card to have. For events, I run 3 copies of You'll Frighten Me. I feel this is just a really good counter event. If you have 2 or less life cards, we get to up to one of our opponent's active characters cannot attack during this turn, so we get to save ourselves from, like, let's say it's a Zoro swing. We're going to play the You'll Frighten Me. We'll hit the Zoro, and that Zoro's not going to be able to swing. And of course, like the same thing with like NGP Luffy, the 6-cost Luffy that can like restand itself and swing again. All of that's really good. Or they can, like if they have a big body and you know they have like an unblockable thing that they can, like an unblockable combat trick, you can just go ahead and target it so that way they can't use the combat trick. I run 2 copies of Slave Arrow in this particular list. I feel Slave Arrow is really good. It's a counter event where you may return 1 of our cards. Let me just remember what it does really quick because I'm dumb. Return a cost 2 or higher character to its owner's hand, and then give our leader plus 4k. It's been a long time since I've like had to actually like look at Slave Arrow. Very seldom do I see Slave Arrow in my playtests, but it is still just a really good card to have. It's got a really good trigger too that allows us to draw 2.
Stop what you're doing.
Of course, speaking of unblockable combat tricks, we run one copy of Perfume Femur. Honestly, I was running it like this, where it was 2 copies of Femur, 1 copy of Slave Arrow, but I think maybe seeing the Slave Arrow a little bit more is kind of more important than that. And then the Femur is just really good for just getting around the blocker. It's got a good draw trigger as well, so that there is that. And then lastly, as a tech, I run 1 copy of Gravity Blade. Just a great way to get rid of some additional bodies and things like that. Again, another blue staple outside of Red Rock. But overall, this is my deck list. I feel tempo-wise, great deck. Great mid-range deck for me, in my opinion. You're swinging a lot of 5s, a lot of 6s, even some 7s here and there. I feel this deck does apply a lot of pressure to your opponent's life, especially with the Boa Hancock ability, because you're always going to have 1 Dawn under her at all times going after turn 1. So essentially, you kind of just want to play a normal game of One Piece and just kind of balance yourself when it comes to when do I want to drop the Rayleigh. Okay, 9 Dawn, I'm definitely playing the Boa, and I'm going to put the last Dawn under the Boa and just kind of go for it at that point. Utilizing the Kumas just to make sure I stay healthy and things like that. So overall, this is my Boa Hancock list that I've been kind of playing around with and running, and I can definitely say I love it 100%. I feel the deck does struggle a little bit into like big body units. So like, as an example, like with Emu, if they're swinging 7/7s, it's a little bit harder to kind of get out of those, but that's more towards the late game. I feel if you're playing another tempo deck or you're playing into the mirror, you might have a little bit of trouble. But it's kind of just what you see in the cards, but that's going to do it for us. Let me know what you guys think about the list. Are you guys happy for Boa? Do you guys think it's really healthy for the meta right now? Huge shout out to the People's Card Shop again for letting me kind of come in here and do this recording really quick. And I want to say, have a great rest of your day and be on the lookout for this Boa Hancock list in our next upload for gameplay. Peace and love, y'all.